Pay up or I shut you down, my ex threatened, storming into my restaurant's prep kitchen with a drafted lawsuit and demanding $180,000 in stolen intellectual property royalties. Tessa and I dated for 8 months back in 2021. It ended terribly when I discovered she was stealing from my wallet. No shared assets, no lingering drama. I moved to Seattle, opened a high-end seafood bistro, and assumed she was permanently out of my life. Then she barged into my establishment on a busy Thursday evening with a stack of legal documents. My head chef had to call me out of the dining room. Tessa handed me a cease and desist letter. Those signature chili glaze recipes are mine. Pay the licensing fee, or I file the injunction tomorrow. My corporate attorney reviewed the documents and calculated the retroactive royalty demand at exactly $180,000. She warned me that intellectual property disputes in the restaurant industry are brutal. If Tessa filed an emergency injunction, a judge could temporarily freeze my operations or confiscate my profits until the trial concluded. The timeline technically aligned. I developed that specific menu during the fall of 2021, right when we shared a cramped apartment in Portland. Before I could process the threat, she dropped her business card on a cutting board and walked out. I spent the entire night tearing through old recipe notebooks and digital timestamps from 2021. The next morning, an encrypted email landed in my inbox. She is running the exact same shakedown on a bakery owner. Look into Derek Holt in Denver. I immediately retained a private financial investigator named Joel Carr. Within 48 hours, Joel pulled Derek Holt's public court filings. The documents painted a horrifyingly familiar picture. Derek owned a thriving bakery. In 2022, Tessa sued him, claiming she created his top-selling pastry line. Photos showed them dating in early 2022. Then Joel uncovered the absolute smoking gun. Tessa had actually taken Derek to civil court, but Derek had produced time-stamped video evidence of himself inventing the recipes months before he even met her. Tessa's claim was tossed, but Derek had already bled $15,000 in legal defense fees. Joel dug into Tessa's current financial status. Her boutique marketing agency had collapsed in May 2024. She was facing an impending $85,000 heirs tax lien, and her condo was in pre-foreclosure. She was desperate for an immediate cash settlement. The anonymous whistleblower finally called my personal cell. It was Nina Reyes, Tessa's former business partner. She forwarded me a series of unhinged voice memos and text screenshots from July. In the texts, Tessa laid out the entire plot. I found out that chef I dated in Portland just got a Michelin star. His timeline is fuzzy enough. If I hit him with a massive IP lawsuit right before the holiday rush, he'll settle for $40,000 minimum just to make it go away. Nina had texted back, asking what would happen if I fought it in court. Tessa replied, then I stalled discovery and bleed his legal budget. He'll panic and pay. Completely worth the gamble. When Tessa officially filed her emergency injunction to freeze my restaurant's assets, my lawyer immediately counterfiled with a motion for summary judgment and laid out our massive evidence package. We submitted Derek's 2022 dismissed lawsuit, Nina's forwarded text messages outlining the extortion plot, and my own encrypted cloud backups proving I wrote the recipes in 2019. The civil judge called for a mandatory preliminary hearing. Tessa's attorney confidently argued that my digital timestamps could be easily manipulated. That was when my lawyer called our surprise witness. Derek Holt walked into the Seattle courtroom. I am the owner of Holt Bakery, Derek stated clearly. I have the 2022 court transcripts where this exact same plaintiff tried to extort my business using identical fraudulent claims. She targets hospitality professionals she previously dated. The judge scrutinized the 2022 dismissal records. Then Nina took the stand and read Tessa's premeditated texts out loud to the court, emphasizing the line about bleeding my legal budget to force a $40,000 settlement. Injunction denied with extreme prejudice. The judge slammed his gavel. This plaintiff's claim is an egregious fabrication. He glared down at Tessa. You weaponized the legal system to shake down a successful business while hiding a history of identical fraudulent litigation. I am ordering you to pay 100% of the defendant's legal fees, plus Mr. Holt's travel expenses. Furthermore, I am forwarding this entire docket to the federal prosecutor's office. Using the civil courts to orchestrate a premeditated financial shakedown easily meets the threshold for criminal extortion. Tessa slumped into her chair, utterly defeated.